Frances Castaneda-Dice with the East End Chamber of Commerce, and it's an honor to welcome you to our Feel Good Friday. It is going to be a great weekend, and I'm so honored to introduce you and everyone to Ellyse Espinoza. She is the owner and designer of Stateline Designs. Hi, Elise. So good to see
Hi,
you.
good morning. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. You know, I'm one of your biggest fans, and
Aw.
just that's why it's so an honor to introduce you to so many other people who don't know you and talk about how you got started with your fashion designs and everything else. So why don't you tell us about how you got started, or actually tell us a little about yourself so we can all know you.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Elise Espinoza. I am a local women-owned business here in Houston. I started back in 2014, originally from Houston, but I went to school and I moved to Los Angeles with a suitcase to go to an art school. So my background is in graphic design and marketing. So when I moved out there, I went to school for graphic design, and I was blessed to get an internship and a job at NBC Universal. So my background is in graphic design. I did marketing, and I used to work on like movie posters and stuff at NBC for Fast and Furious and a lot of other like films. So I moved out there, and then I came back to Texas and kind of started my brand as a like side hustle on the side. And here we are.
So amazing. Tell us about this. Is this one of your first designs here?
Yes, yes. So actually, I was when I moved back to Houston, I was looking for jobs in graphic design as a designer because that was what my background is, and I couldn't really find a job to what I felt like I was worth based on my resume and the projects that I worked on. So I actually got a job in education. So I went back to work for my old high school, which was Yes Prep Public Schools. So I went back and I loved it. I was a lottery director and I did all kinds of stuff there. However, one of my students, unfortunately, he was a senior in high school and he had a tragic accident and he passed away. And it was just horrible for our students and everyone. We hadn't had something like that happen. So his the students came and said, Miss Espinosa, can you make us a shirt for Terry, our student? And I said, okay, well, what do you guys want? They said, let's do a rest in paradise with his picture on it. I said, we could do that, but let's do something a little different. So I told all the kids to go to their class and write one word that represented him. I got his senior photo and I did a word cloud with his photo, the Yes Prep logo. And I had his college counselor came and we sold the shirt to donate to his parents. And I still get goosebumps
I
on this
got them right
story.
now.
Yeah, I literally get, and I don't tell a lot of people this story because it's kind of sad, but I mean, since you asked about this shirt, it's
Yeah.
really where my brand came from and how it started. And I went to his funeral, and his dad is a pastor. His dad spoke at his funeral and said, something good is going to come out of my son's passing, and we don't know what it is, but something good is. And I'm still like freaking out. So I'm like, how can a father say that at his son's funeral? And his college counselor came into my class the next week, and he said, Elise, you went to Yes, you graduated from Yes, you moved to LA, you did all that, and thank you for your service and your 5 years commitment to our school. But with this design that you made for Terry, you can impact so much more. So thank you, but you need to go. So he kind of like was like, do something. So I literally went home that day and I got the Texas state line, and I got the Texas state line, and I wrote all the words that represented Houston to me. And I had another friend at the time, Jessica Espinoza, that we both wrote down words that like we liked from Houston. And I made that shirt at that night, and I was like, let's see how this goes. We didn't know the name of my company, so we had kind of came up with three names, and my son was about 2 months at the time, and we put names in, like we tore the names up and put them on a little paper. My son, he couldn't talk, he was 3 months old, and he actually picked the name State Line. So that's where the name comes from, Stateline Designs. And that was my first shirt. Until this day, it's still my bestseller, and that's 6 years later.
Well, I'm a proud owner of it.
Yes,
I love this shirt so much. It feels so soft. Your shirts
yes.
are so soft and they last a long time. I've
Thank
washed it
you so
several
much.
times and it's great.
Thank you so much. So yeah, that's my first design, and it's always gonna be my favorite because I mean, his parents, like he was an inspiration on how my brand started, and I'll never forget that. And I know his church prayed on me and prayed on my business 6 years ago. And after a year, I was able to take my company full time, and now I sell Texas inspired T-shirts from my home. And we'll talk more about kind of my journey
Yeah,
in a minute.
yes. So tell us about your journey. We wanted to share these pictures of some of the sites that you've been at.
Yes. So I started, 2014 was when I started, and I was doing, like I said, I was working in education still, but I was doing this on the side. So I was doing pop-up events. And at the time, there weren't very many pop-ups. I think there was Rice Village Flea, which is, they don't have that anymore. And then the East End Market, which is where I believe I might have met you the first time.
Yes. Hmm.
But yeah, I used to do the East End Market, and I would go out and pretty much like tell people my story, tell people my brand, how, how I design everything. I produce most of this stuff myself, but now because I'm so busy, I've had to outsource. So I have two awesome printers that work with me, and they're great. So yeah, so I started doing these pop-ups and kind of selling my items, selling my shirts, and until I was able to, like I said, take it full time.
Hmm. That is so awesome. And then today you have a vehicle. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm actually going to start with the picture on the right. So I was nominated in 2017 as one of 4 Houston female entrepreneurs of the year. However, my goal in life was I wanted to, you set up those pop-up tents, and it's so hot, and it's Texas, and setting up, breaking down, it's a lot to do, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. So I wanted to do a mobile boutique, and I did my research on, a friend of mine, she had like a UPS truck that she like designed and turned into a fashion truck. And I was like, well, I wouldn't know how to fix an engine if something like that broke or anything. So I started like Pinteresting, and I didn't tell anybody what I wanted to do, but I custom built this. I custom built this trailer. I went to a company and said, I want the door here. I don't want it to look like a food truck, with the windows. So I got like plexiglass and like designed it to where someone can actually, you can walk in through the back. So I have barn doors in the back. You can walk in through the back, shop, and then walk out, through the front. And yeah, so that was always my goal. So I put every penny I had in the world into building that out. And once it was ready, I think I did maybe 2 or 3 shows, and then I won that competition for, Houston, Houston female entrepreneur of the year. And actually there was there was a winner, and then they heard there was 4 of us. So the first #1 winner, she won. And then I guess the sponsors, Green Street, the sponsors heard the story of the other 3 ladies, which was myself, like the runner-ups, and they said, look, we love all 3 of you guys. Brenda Grimes was one of the designers that you're wearing now. And Green Street was like, look, we can't let you guys go. All 4 of you were inspiring. So if you'd like, we'd love to give you a sponsored store at Green Street, which is downtown. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, no, I don't want a store because I just put all my money into going mobile. And they're like, this is an amazing opportunity. You should really like, be excited about this. I asked Brenda Grimes, who's one of my best friends. She's like, amiga, please, let's get the store. And I'm like, okay, if I get to do it with you, let's do it. So I had to put my mobile boutique on the side in order to do our store. But our store came out amazing, and Brenda Grimes is still one of my closest friends, and it was a lot to learn. I mean, I'm self-taught in everything. I drive that trailer around, and I just kind of wing everything in life. So I'm like, okay, I can hitch this trailer and drive it around town. So the store was an amazing opportunity.
I love that story. And yes, in your honor and I didn't know she was your best friend, but I bought this piece. It's a
But
choker, the earrings, and
yes,
the
I have the
bracelet and
earrings.
ring. I just love it. It's one of my favorite pieces. So I'm wearing it in her honor as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, we want
Um,
everyone to win in this community. So it's so awesome seeing a lot of the women that we talk to a lot of us. Miradela is another, she's one of my business partners for HX Boss Babes. And there's so many amazing Houston women-owned Latina brands that we support each other. Like we kind of talk to each other like, hey, how's it going over here? What do you need here? Do you have any ideas on where to print here? So it's great to like have these other women that we work with and say like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? So I mean, I think Houston is just an amazing community for like us to be supporting each other.
I love that. And then Paula Mendoza, who's watching us, she just sent in a little chat and she said she loves that. I want all Latinas to win in this community. So thank you for
We
saying
want all
that.
women to win in general, but yes. I mean, I think everyone needs to stick together. But I mean, I know a lot of the designers, and we all, like, anytime I drop a new design, I go look at, like, you know, my friend Miradela, or I go look at all these other brands and see like, oh, what did they do? If anything, everything I do is original artwork. You know what I mean? So it's important for all brands and all women to make sure, like, do your research before you drop anything. Go look at I don't consider anybody my competitor, you know what I mean? But I go look at these other women that are inspiring, and I go look at their website. Oh, what are they doing? Oh, good. If I'm going to drop a Frida Kahlo, and I have a lot of Frida stuff here too, but I want to make sure what I'm doing is original. So I would never go and see another woman and be like, oh, she did something, I can do something similar, but kind of change it. Like, no, if you're not doing anything original, I don't think the success is going to come, because you're not creating your own work. So it's very important. And I tell this to my clients and stuff, that make sure you're doing your research. Like, what this brand is doing, amazing. What this brand is doing, amazing. There's enough room for all of us if we kind of stay in our lane. And I think we do. Like, I think everyone, if you're in this for the long haul, you're going to know that respect is so important, and we want each other to continue to win and to continue to help build each other.
I love that. And I love the way that you respect and honor your Texas and Houston roots.
Yes.
There you are at the Houston Rodeo. And then one of my favorite one is the What a Love Spicy Texan shirt.
Yes, I know that I use this picture a lot. And I don't know if you guys know Spoiled Latina. She's an amazing Houston influencer blogger here in Houston, and does so much. But I'm not the picture person. I hate taking pictures and stuff like that. But she's great, and she took this picture of me like laughing, and that was at Cook-Off. And that's when we thought, and I use this picture of like, this is what we thought 2020 was gonna look like, you know, just amazing energy. And then rodeo got cut off like 3 days later, and all of us were like, no, not rodeo. That's like our year. Especially for me, my biggest season is rodeo season. And then Astros season, I usually do pretty well because I try to create, you know, Astros inspired gear. But yeah, that What a Love I dropped right before rodeo to, like, you know, bring it out for rodeo season. And as you know, the shirt that you have, a lot of the stuff I use are like words that inspire Houston or, you know, Texas. And that one I said, I wanted to create my brand. A lot of people in Houston know me for my designs, but I wanted to create something for Texas. Like, my brand is called Stateline, and my goal would eventually be to create items for, you know, California, other items, but I want to kind of stretch myself just a little bit and set a bigger goal to reach a broader audience in Texas. Like, why? And take my mobile boutique out to Austin. I had planned to go to South by Southwest with my trailer, and then they canceled South by Southwest. So my goal is to branch out as much as I can, to get to, you know, to do. So yeah, so that's a spicy Texas that has like Beyonce, Willie Nelson, floating the river, and kind of just cool little things that make me think of Texas.
I love it. I love it. And so I was telling everyone about your care packages, how important it is. It's something that you're doing also in the midst, and how they can order these things. And then I was also talking about your beautiful quilt in the background.
Yes, my quilt here.
Yes. So you can continue, if you wanted to continue to tell how you pivoted and what you're doing now.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so I think we were talking a little bit about masks, but yeah, so I started kind of making like fashionable masks that you can order on my website, and just because it's something I think we're gonna need for a while. So yeah, so I started kind of printing some cool masks with a lot of my designs on them, and these people aren't really buying shirts right now, you know what I mean? So I had to figure out, this is what I do for a living. This is my only income. So I had to figure out how to adjust and pivot, like you said, and masks is the new thing that everybody needs right now. So, so that's making masks. And I also started doing little care packages because right now I think mental health is so important. And I've learned that through, I think it took COVID to make me realize what exactly we need, to be doing to help our mental health. So I started making these little care packages that, can you hear me okay, Francis?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So like this is a little koozie that says trying my best, which I think all of us are, trying to do. So honestly, I have people that contact me and say, hey, my girlfriend, she saw one of your, posts and I have a budget of $100. What can you do? And I said, they kind of give me the lead and they give me their budget and I'll create something for them. So I'll add either a koozie. This is a smaller one. So this one would probably be about maybe $40, but I'll do like little keychains, and some of these items you can't find on my website. So it's kind of cool to get these like exclusive little items, scrunchies, earrings, little things like that, that it's kind of just a package to send to your girlfriend or maybe some essential workers like nurses, pharmacists, the Stars at Night little decals. So so these are just to kind of send to someone that you think might need a little pick me up, or to tell everyone, slow down, relax, we're gonna make it, we have to get through this, like this is our only option, we have to figure out how to maneuver through COVID. So this is just a little one, and we'll ship it directly to them. Or I've had people that is like, girl, just make me something that you think you can make for me, and I'll do that as well. So my Instagram is Stateline Designs, at Stateline Designs. So you can send me a DM and I can kind of create something custom for you.
That I love that. I love that so much. And you also talked about you're a teacher. You do social media classes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So when I started my brand, this was like when Instagram started and was kind of getting a little bit of momentum, but this was when brands weren't going to post their life on Instagram. So that's how I started back in 2014 when I started using my Instagram and building that. And I've just done my research on how to build an authentic following on social media. And especially I can, do a little collage of shorts and shirts and something, and I'll post it and I'll get 3 sales right away. And that's how I keep my business is run on social media, on Instagram. So it's so important. So I teach clients. I have different clients that chiropractors, tea shops. I mean, I have clients from, and it doesn't matter what you sell. It's how you want to be perceived on social media. So I teach, I used to do them at coffee shops, but now I'm going to start doing Zoom classes because I have a lot of people saying, hey, I'm stuck. With COVID, I'm not getting the sales. I'm not getting the income that I need. So yes, I teach brands how to build themselves on social media, influencers. I mean, I work with anyone and everyone, and I teach you what to post, what not to post, how to post it, and how to create an influence with your brand that's actually create an influence with your brand that you're actually moving, just there's a right way, there's a wrong way to Instagram. And a lot of people don't know that. So it's kind of teaching you how to build your brand on social media.
Oh, you're awesome. You are so awesome. So I know you told us that you are went to school in the East End. Can you tell us your roots, your connection to the East End?
Yes. So I'm from Southwest Houston. However, my aunt used to work at Rest Elementary. I don't know, you might know her, Brenda Rangel.
Yes,
I don't know if
yes.
you know my aunt. Yeah, she's mentioned you before. But yeah, Brenda Rangel, she used to work at Rest Elementary, which is where Project Yes started, like in '96, maybe, like a long time ago. So my brother went to Yes Prep at Rest. I know Project Yes then. So when I went to 6th grade, my mom and Brenda Rangel was like, you need to put Elise in the school. I was zoned to Dowling and Madison, and my aunt is, very into education. She's always been. And she told my mom, you need to, even if you have to take them to the East End every day and drive them, they need to be at Project Yes. So I was one of the first graduating classes that went through the entire Project Yes program, which was 6th grade through 12th grade. And we started off at, which is, they're now townhomes, but our school was at in the parking lot of Guadalupe Plaza. So yeah, now TVH was like our auditorium, and that's still there, you know? So yeah, so I grew up out there. We used to play baseball at City Gas. Even now, my son and I, we go on Thursdays to play baseball at City Gas, which is crazy because as a 6th grader, I used to play, you know, softball there. And now I have a 7-year-old or 6-year-old who'll be 7 tomorrow. My son, I take him there to play. So it's kind of this like full circle on me always going back to the East End, even though I didn't grow up in the neighborhood. A lot of years I spent, you know, there. So yeah.
Oh, I love these connections. So it sounds like family is very important to you. Can you, and because of your quilt behind you and your son, how important is family support of an entrepreneur, especially during a time like this?
It's everything. My mom helps me so much. I was mentioned to you before our call. My mom lives across the street, so it's really good. She helps me with something when I have to go to work. I'm not doing events right now, but when I have to work, my mom literally quit her job so that she could watch my son for me to work. So she's been on my payroll for 6 years now. So I don't even usually pay myself, which is the #1 rule in entrepreneurship. You should pay yourself. And I'm 6 years, and I just want to make sure my mom is taken care of and my mom, you know, gets paid, because I would not be able to be where I am, and I would not be able to work at events and shows, etc., if I didn't have childcare. And who better than to watch your child than your mom, who is one across the street, and 2 is gonna take care of your child like no one else will. So I'm so blessed to have my mom, my dad help me. And now my son's at an age that he calls them every day and is like, Mom, Nani, Papa, open the gate. I'm coming over. So he'll go over now. And then he's like, Mom, it's because you need a Lucas break, especially right now with, you know, he's not in school just yet, but like, you know, having your child next to you. Usually when I would send him to school, when school was here in real life school, that was my me time, because I don't have a me break, a Lucas break. You know what I mean? So now it's like it's my son and I against the world. So we, you know, I love it. And he's my best friend. But yeah, it's cool to have my mom across the street to go hang out with her for an hour and then come back and said, okay, I'm back for my break. And I said, okay, Lucas.
I love it.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun? I know you're a workaholic, you're an entrepreneur, you're a mom. What do you do for fun?
A great question that I always get. I love horses. So prior, I actually had a horse. So I moved when I sent you over there to go to school, and then you started working and you stayed in California. So my dad was like, you need to move home. And I was like, okay, well, if I move home, I'm going to buy a horse. Never had I had a horse or anything. That was just always a goal of mine. So I moved back to Texas. I started working with the beasts and working with horses, and that was kind of my passion, to work with horses. And then I bought my first horse. So I had my horse, and he was amazing. I loved him. But then I was going to have my son, and I was like, okay, well, I can't have a horse and a son at the same time. With, you know, my situation, I needed to, you know, be a mom and a good mom. So that's kind of what I did. So yes, I love horses. And I love the beach. The beach is so calming. So my son and I, we're not, you know, if I'm not working, my son and I usually spend a lot of time driving to Galveston and or like riding horses and just kind of being in peace away from the everyday life of, you know, entrepreneurship.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Now, I know you're in your studio, you're right behind us. Are there any new items or some of your favorite items that you want to maybe show us?
Sure. This is actually this is a shirt that you have, which is the All Things Texas, and you can see it. But so what I do is I change the different colors of the shirts, and this is the first time, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually a speckled.
Yes,
If
I can.
You can see it. So it's a speckled. This is my first shirt that it's called a speckled tee. So it has like, it actually is cool because it actually has the colors of the Mexican flag on it. So it's like red, yellow, black. So this is my newest kind of design, not my newest design, but my newest style of tee because I just love the fact that it, you know, it has those kind of like colors in it, and it's really awesome. It is a little bit thicker than most of my shirts. My shirts are usually like really thin and soft, and you can wear them for years and they just get softer by the year. This shirt is a little bit thicker, so I'm trying to I'm promoting it now, and I'm selling it now to see how it does. But I actually like it because right now, with it being so hot outside, kind of the new trend is like bike shorts, kind of long bike shorts and baggy tees. So I'm kind of marketing it as like, go a size up. I usually wear a small, but I'm wearing it in large with some like cool bike tees and just tennis shoes to get around. But yeah, this is my newest shirt with the speckled kind of version. So I'm really excited about it. Reminds me a lot of like Texas, like the stars at night. So it's kind of cool.
Oh, I love that play on words there. And
Yeah.
Any celebrities have been, or have you shared your stuff with celebrities, and can you share any stories about that?
Yes, absolutely. So who have I meet a lot of kind of celebrities quite often at events and stuff like that. But yeah, Alex Bregman is like my favorite person in the world. He's like my favorite person. But yeah, so I actually saw Alex Bregman at a pop-up that I was doing. He was inside at Snooze. This was last Christmas, and he was inside eating, and I was outside, you know, selling my shirts, and someone came and saw my, you know, Astros inspired shirts and were like, man, you know, Alex Bregman's inside. And I'm like, excuse me, like, what's going on here? And I used to work at NBC Universal, and we were always taught, like, if you see George Clooney in the elevator, you're not allowed to say hello. Like, you just wave respectfully. And I was raised, when you see a celebrity, they're normal. You're not allowed to approach them, you know? So I've always had that mentality. Like, I'll see someone out and I won't ask them for a picture or anything. But Alex Bregman, I was like, if I don't tell Alex Bregman hi, I'm not going to forgive myself. So I went inside, and he was with his friends, and I took him a care package. So I made a little care package for him that was like 2 shirts, a little, like, I don't even remember what I put. I just made him some stuff, and I said, you're at lunch, you're at breakfast. I don't want to bother you. I just wanted to introduce myself. I said, you know, my name is Elise. I own a company called Stateline. I said, and I'm one of the only women-owned businesses in Houston that creates sports-inspired apparel. I said, there's a lot of the industry that I'm in, as far as the sports kind of shirts that I do and stuff, it's male dominated. A lot, the people that I'm in Houston with, they're all amazing artists, but they're all male dominated. There's not a woman in Houston that's creating, you know, the Astros inspired shirts and, you know, Rocket stuff. So it was so excited to meet Alex Bregman. So yeah, so I saw Alex Bregman, Deshaun Watson. I don't think he has any of my shirts to my knowledge, but he does like my photos and my son's photos on Instagram and stuff, which is amazing. DeAndre Hopkins, who's my favorite, he's shared my stuff on social media as well. And then my one favorite person, Anthony Rendon, he's from Houston. He's from Houston, Rosenberg area, but he was playing for the Nationals for years. And now he just moved to the Angels, and he plays, he plays baseball. But he's had one of the shirt that you have. He's had that shirt for years. And last year when they were in the playoffs and he was playing the Dodgers, he was at Dodger Stadium and came out on ESPN wearing Stateline. So that was like, everybody was like tagging me like, yo, Anthony Rendon's wearing your stuff. So now I have a shirt, but my son loves Anthony Rendon. And I got like an autograph ball from him for my son. So and then he won the World Series. So I love Anthony Rendon, and I see a lot of people out and stuff like that, like Slim Thug. I have a few pictures with, which I'd met him 6 times before I ever asked him for a photo. So now every time we see each other, we like get excited. But yeah, I think for the most part, those are the people who have my stuff and have, you know, supported. But yeah, those are a few of my people. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody.
No worries. And are there any causes that you care about that you want to maybe share with us? You know, again, on your spare time, what are some of the things that you do?
Let's see. Causes. I mean, I used to work a lot with Habitat for Horses, which is abused and kind of neglected horses. So I think that's definitely a cause that I've always supported. I know I've worked with, with the abused horses, and who else? I mean, I try to support any kind of social causes that are going on. With my platform, I get a lot of people that, thank me for using my platform for not only selling shirts, but, giving people a voice that don't have a voice maybe. I know the Vanessa Guillen, I've been very active with when it first started, and actually going out and trying to do things right now. It's COVID is here. So there's not a lot of things that you can do, but kind of trying to pick your battles at what you're doing, with the George Floyd as well. There's things that we want to stay safe and we want to stay healthy, but we also want to use our voice for causes. So I think social justice is just definitely something I've used my platform for. And I've had people saying like, why are you mixing politics? I'm like, this is not politics to me. This is someone's life. And someone, she went to Chavez High School. Like it's just, I try to use my platform for what I feel. And I tell people I am going to be as real as I am, and you can be here, and I welcome anyone here, and I want everyone's support. But if we don't have the same kind of vision and you're going to be rude about it, then it's not a good connect. And we're all about authenticity here, and whatever you believe, if you have a vision for it, I like to hear other people's opinions. I like not to argue, but you always need to know both sides of a story. And, some of my friends support different things, and I'm like, well, tell me why. Tell me how. Oh, I can see how you might, think that way. So I think open dialogue for anything is just
Great. We're coming to an end of our program. Is there anything that I forgot to ask you, or anything that you would like to add, other than plugging your organization?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we got a lot. This was an awesome interview. I haven't done any interviews. I've had a few kind of requests, but with COVID and with just everything going on, sometimes it's not, I didn't feel the energy to like want to get on, anything. But now I feel like we have to learn how to move forward with
Yes.
COVID, and virtual, learning is going to be the way to go. So thank you so much for having me, and to everyone else. My Instagram is shopstateline.com. I mean, my website is shopstateline.com. My Instagram is @stateline-designs.com. And Francis, thank you so much. Like I've known you for a while now, and I always think about you. You have always supported me, and I just appreciate you so much for being female led in the community and in the East End everywhere. And you've just always been so amazing and so humble. And I really appreciate all the support from you as well.
Oh, thank you. I'm your biggest fan, and I'm a loyal customer, and I encourage everyone out there to go online today and order a shirt. They're super soft. They're going to last forever, and you're supporting local. So thank you so much, Elise. Tell your mom, I don't know her, but tell her thank you for all that she's doing for you and your family.
I will.
And give your son a hug. And
I will. He kept trying to pop in through the door, and I'm like, get over there. Like, he tries to jump in on my Zoom calls, and I'm like holding him back. So yeah, I told him we're going to go get some tacos at La Esquina in a minute. And I said, I'll give you tacos if you don't jump in on my Zoom call. So yeah.
Well, I live right down the street from La Esquina,
nice.
and I'm a loyal customer there too. And their breakfast bowls I tried last week are heaven. They're just
I have not tried that yet.
With bacon. Get the one with bacon.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.